So how did the lectures and the live exchanges with European experts actually enrich your learning experience during this course?
It enriched my experience, and especially with Professor Crystal's class, because I haven't taken a course like this before. And um, I was telling Professor Crystal that I am a non-traditional student, and I loved this course so much because now I think I want to do something maybe with my career in this field, or at least have my internship between my junior and senior year be involved with something that has to do with immigration, migration, and global studies. And it hasn't been as much of an interest to me until I took this course. And then watching all of the modules and the videos and watching the interviews and then attending last week's Zoom call was incredible. And I gained so much from it. And I couldn't stop talking about it with my sisters who both studied global engagement in college. So it was exciting for them to hear what I learned, even just from last week's Zoom call, and then throughout these last 6 weeks with Professor Crystal. So I think if anything, it's really opened my mind. And I want to keep learning more. And with my other classes, I'm in a few journalism classes and communication courses, which requires a lot of writing. And so my next paper, thanks to last week's Zoom call, I'm going to write my paper on immigration and migration. So yeah, it's done a lot for me, and I'm grateful that I got to be in her class.
How has this virtual study abroad changed your understanding of European institutions and European affairs and Europe issues from that sort of regional perspective? Of course, we saw thematic issues related to COVID, to migration, to sustainability, but from a regional European perspective, because we also in this course, we looked at the different European institutions. How did this study abroad program enhance your understanding of Europe itself?
I think it enhanced it because it taught me about different regions of issues going on that I wasn't fully aware of. For example, I wasn't aware of how many people who are traveling from, like Northern African region to get to Europe to have a better life. I didn't know that so many were passing away traveling here. And I didn't realize how unsafe the conditions were. And it was hard to watch the PowerPoint and to see those videos or those photos, but it's important. And because I had no idea, now I'm so much more curious, and I would love to be a part of the change and helping this issue, but even more so, I just want to learn more about it to understand different cultures. And I had no idea that that with Parliament and with COVID, that this large technology came in right at the beginning, so that companies and corporations didn't lose engagement with employees or engagement or communication with people globally. And I thought that was so wise to do that. And it sounds like from the module, I think it was module 2 and module 3 interviews, that they talked about how successful that added technology was. And really, they didn't lose much profit or business. So it makes me wonder, are we missing out on something in terms of, could we be benefiting off of what Europeans are doing in terms of how are they coping with the COVID crisis with the business aspect and not just personal? And it sounds like because of the technology that was added, it probably improved people's personal lives while they were quarantining and going through COVID in the beginning stages. So if anything, I guess it made me wonder if what we're doing here in the US is complementary to what's going on in Europe, or if we could improve what we're doing, because it sounds like it's very successful over there.
How was your experience in the dedicated international virtual classroom for this study abroad program?
I really loved meeting people from across the world. I thought that was fascinating, and just the way that people think differently who aren't living in your region. It's I think it only benefits you because you get to see an issue spoken about from a different standpoint and someone's different perspective who lives in a completely different area. I liked the whole setup too. It was a very nice introduction. Right in the beginning, you knew exactly what was going to be discussed throughout the presentation. So you had something to look forward to. And I really enjoyed the PowerPoint, even though I wasn't able to stay throughout the whole lecture or the PowerPoint. That PowerPoint was obviously it was powerful information and images. And so because of that PowerPoint, and I got to stay through the first 3 slides, that really triggered me to research later after my class, after that Zoom meeting. So I loved it so much, and I would interact with that again if I had the opportunity.
What about the virtual classroom, that platform that you had to log into, the lessons, the modules, the learning content that we created for you?
That was excellent as well. It was very professionally laid out. It was user friendly. It was very easy to understand. Not that you had to watch or read certain things first, but I always started from left to right because it was laid out for me. I thought it was set up very well, and it was easy to log into as long as you follow the directions. And yeah, I thought it was great.
Overall, what did you like the most out of this virtual study abroad program?
The thing I loved the most was the interaction between Professor Crystal and the class, but also between last week's Zoom meeting. And I really loved, like I said, the learning platform that we could view all the modules on. And in terms of that platform, I loved watching the interviews the most.
That's great. It seems you liked everything.
I did it. It was, I
That's
think,
excellent.
just really fascinating. And I just wanted to keep understanding and learning more. So I thought it was very well done.